Let's give a round of applause for Jeff and Debbie, our musical guests. And thank you to Kathy and Karen for their musical gifts that they give to the church. You know, a couple weeks ago, I got up really early in the morning. I'm talking 0500. And for those of you that aren't military, that's 5 a.m., which for me, I'm not a morning person. I'm just not. I could sleep until 9, maybe even 10 some days, but my dog won't let me. So we got up at 5, my partner and I, and we decided to go see the sunrise at the beach. We poured a pot of coffee and I put it in a carafe. We got some snacks, a couple of beach towels, and we drove off, set off to Juno Beach. It's our favorite beach. And as we were descending the stairs, we stopped in complete awe at this big 5 foot by 5 foot hole. This huge turtle about this big was flapping and burying her eggs. We stood there in awe because it was God's new beginning. We were witnessing right there in front of us. Brought a tear to my eye. And we watched her as she buried her eggs so carefully. We were witnessing God in the beginning. What an unexpected surprise. We had nature and God opening our day. You know, when you get surprised like we did with the beauty of nature in the form of an animal, it often has deeper meanings. For example, turtles have a spiritual meaning that revolves around patience, wisdom, longevity, and resilience. Turtles symbolize a connection to the earth and its wisdom, and their slow, steady pace encourages a thoughtful approach to life and challenges. They can also represent protection, security, and the ability to retreat inside with oneself to find peace. Other meanings mean longevity and good luck because they live a long, long lifespan. And it's often associated with good luck, prosperity, and a long, fulfilling life. Who doesn't want that? Spiritual rebirth is another meaning for the turtle because the way they go under the water and come back up and resurface symbolizes spiritual rebirth, renewal, and transformation. Lastly, trusting your path. Turtles can be seen as guides, encouraging individuals to trust their instincts and inner wisdom as they navigate their life journey. We have a slide for Myrtle Fillmore, and she says this, and this is a picture of her in the garden at Unity Village. I've been there. It's incredible. Nature is surely the glorified face of God. See the beauty about you. See the manifestation of the infinite mind. When we were standing there in front of that turtle, we were witnessing the manifestation of the infinite, the almighty, the God of our world. It was so amazing. Our Bible scripture today is from Lamentations 3:22-23. And it says, because of the Lord's great love, we are not consumed, for his compassions never fail. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. Wow, new every day. We get to experience a new day with 24 complete hours to spend however we want. What if we greeted them with zeal and vigor and excitement every day? For it is never too late to forge ahead. Charles Fillmore says this, let the God within you express through you in the world without. So each day, no matter what you have planned, what crisis needs attend to, what struggles come your way, it is all much more fluid, and we will have much more receptivity if we begin our day remembering who we are. Who are we? We are all made in the image of Christ. We have the Christ power within. We were born to do something here, to be something, to share with people. We are the creative outpouring of Christ. That's huge. We need to be so thankful for that. So The other quote from Charles Fillmore is my favorite. I fairly sizzle with zeal, energy, and enthusiasm, eager to do what is mine to do today. Why do I love this? Because I think it shows the passion with which you can start a day. You know, you can choose to start a day sad and depressed, or you can pull yourself out of it. It's all up to us. So what is there for me to do today? To be an example of the Most High. Live the truth. It can be as simple as holding the door open for someone and surprising them, or rising in the morning and going for a walk in nature. Remember, you are never too old or too young to fairly sizzle with zeal. Let me share a couple of people that did it later in life. And this inspires me because I feel like a lot of us are just finding our kind of way, you know, a little bit later in life. And I know that's true for me. Ray Kroc, he's the owner of McDonald's. He didn't buy the McDonald's franchise until he was 59. And then he built it into the corporation it was today, or it is today. Similarly, anybody see James Bond movies lately in the last 10 years? Yeah. Remember Judi Dench? Well, she is working her whole life, just working. Nobody really even knew her until about her early 60s when she was up for an Oscar for one of her movies, and she got the James Bond series. So you never know what's ahead of you. Just because we're 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, it doesn't mean our life is over. We got lots to live. So what is there for us to do? How do we tap into that success when we're struggling to get through each day? Maybe we're not struggling. Maybe we're living each day with grace and love. That's great. But what is there for us to do? How can we bring a shift to our life that brings us more joy, more peace, and more fun each day? Let's put this into practice, shall we? What are some ways we can actualize having our days to be that which the universe intended? Well, the first way is gratitude. And I invite you, when you awake tomorrow morning and each day this week, before you get out of bed, find one thing to be grateful for, just one thing, and say it out loud and see if it doesn't put a smile on your face. Remember, gratitude is the key to all healing and abundance. It is so important to wake up with gratitude. When we have gratitude, something in our energy changes. It can't help but change. What we think is what we see. Let me say that another way. What we seek, we will see. What we seek, we will see. If we seek the bad, we'll find the bad. If we seek judgment, we'll find judgment. If we seek sarcasm, we'll get sarcasm. So be careful what we seek. Start off with gratitude. That way we can reset the day to goodness and be open and receptive to the truth. Another way to start the day is energy. Remember, energy begets energy, right? Anybody ever heard that? Yep, I see some nods. Energy begets energy. What energy are you bringing to the day? What energy am I bringing to the day? We must look at that. Abraham Hicks says this: life is not about tomorrow. It is about the right now. Life is about how you are currently molding your energy. We all have a choice of what energy we bring. And just like an atom has electrons and made of positive and negative energy, we too are made up of millions of atoms. So I know this isn't biology class, but this is an important concept to understand. The more we focus on positive energy, the healthier, happier, and more vibrant we will be. This really enables you to move from the dark places to the life of the light. It increases personal well-being, social interactions, and spiritual and energetic practices can be used to rebalance. When you're feeling a little off kilter, look at things to rebalance. It's really important that we protect our energy, isn't it? Because there's a lot of people out there that sometimes steal our energy. We allow them to. So it's really important to focus on who you spend time with. My dad, who's now passed, but he's with me every day. He was very successful. He worked 30 years at McDonnell Douglas before they got bought by Boeing, worked his way up from the flight line, sledging a sledgehammer, to director of strategic planning with no degree. He was a go-getter. And I really admired him. And he used to tell me, Kim, he called me Kim, Kim, be careful who you hang out with, because who you hang around is who you become. What if we took such care in who we hung out with? It's our job to protect our energy. And it's our job to choose people in our life that are either healthy or working their way to get there, because our energy is too precious to play with. Another way to start the day off brilliantly, we've all talked about, is meditation. I think this is one of the most important unity foundations, is meditation. The benefits of meditation are incredible, and sometimes it's hard. I'll be honest. The first time I started meditating, I was like, yeah, right. My mind was like, boop, 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 boop. But over time, a little bit at a time, even 2 minutes a day can make a shift. Meditation has been scientifically proven to increase gray density matter in MRIs, which means that it can improve learning, memory, emotional regulation, and even self-awareness, particularly in the hippocampus and the amygdala. It also alters brainwave activity. How cool is that? It increases alpha and theta brainwaves, which are linked to relaxation and focused attention. How many of us would like to relax more? That would be so great, right? It changes neural pathways. Meditation can strengthen our neural pathways related to emotional regulation and attention, which makes us more resilient in stressful times and better equipped to handle strong emotions. It also reduces activity in the default mode network. I had to look that one up because I had no idea what that one was. It's a brain network associated with mind wandering and self-referential thought, which can contribute to a sense of calm and decreased rumination. I really invite you, if you haven't tried meditation, try it on. Add it to your spiritual toolbox. We all have tools that we use in times of struggle, chaos, crisis. But, meditation is one of those, it takes practice. It's not something you can do in one sitting. It's better to do 2 minutes a day or 5 minutes a day and just gradually increase it to practice. And I really recommend a guided meditation with music when you're first starting out. It can be sometimes easier to focus. And of course, we have the harmony exercise every Sunday here at 11:15. So don't forget about that. So let's talk about vibrant ways to start the day. For some, it is simply walking on the beach. For others, it could be swimming in the pool or ocean. For some, it's listening to inspiring music like Jelly Roll. If you haven't heard Hard Fought Hallelujah by Jelly Roll, you're missing out. I'll tell you. And I got to tell you, I'm not allowed to play it at home anymore because I've overused it. Remember, we are all different. If something doesn't work for us, it's okay. Just continue to try things out until you find what works for you. Remember, the more tools you have in your spiritual toolbox, the more options you have when faced with situations. The important thing through all of this is protect the energy in our soul. Our soul energy is ours to own, monitor, and gauge how well or how poor we're doing based on our feelings. But what if it's hard for some of us to understand how we feel? Anybody ever feel that way? Like you feel something, but you're not sure? Yeah. In those times, it's really important to get into the silence and listen. We can ask, what is there for me to know now in this situation? What is mine to do? Sometimes placing our hand on our stomach and our heart can help us tap into what is going on inside. It's really important to be in touch with your body. The point here is to take time for yourself. Take time for self-care. It is the most important thing. Take time to nurture your soul. That way you can be better for those around you. Let's look at how to apply principles of unity here with this idea of waking up the day. So we all know the first one is God is all there is and present everywhere. This principle emphasizes the omnipresence of God, viewing God as a source and creator of all existence and as a loving and good presence in the universe, in our lives. Recognizing the inherent goodness within ourselves and others is a key aspect of this principle. The second unity principle should be on the screen, but it's not yet, is human beings are divine at their core and inherently good. Even those human beings we want to go, right? They're still good. What about the human beings in jail? They're still human. They've made gross mistakes, but they're still human. They deserve love and kindness and compassion. Unity teaches us that as expressions of God, all individuals, not few, not some, not these over here or those over there, all are inherently good and possess the divine spark within them. This principle encourages us to look beyond the judgments and the current situations and cultivate compassion and understanding for ourselves and for others. How can we be compassionate for others if we can't be compassionate with ourselves, right? So it's really important. The way we develop self-compassion is to take that self-care time and really use it. Number 3 is thoughts have creative power. This principle highlights the creative power of thoughts and feelings as they shape experiences and our reality. Positive, life-affirming thoughts can help create a fulfilling life. And the fourth one we've talked a bit about, affirmative prayer and meditation. It keeps us aligned with the one great power of the universe. Affirmative prayer and meditation are central practices in unity for connecting with the divine and all around us. Prayer aligns us with divine wisdom. When we're struggling with a decision or we're struggling with a current situation, quiet, get quiet. You have the answer inside you. You just have to be willing to listen. And I know I'm a hardhead. Sometimes I don't listen. And I've gotten really good at getting quiet. Living one's truth involves expressing divine qualities. The fifth one is it is not enough to understand spiritual teachings. We must live the truth we know. We must put these into practice because embracing these principles can lead to a transformative journey. You know, when we recognize the goodness, taking responsibility for our thoughts becomes easy, and we can engage in prayer and meditation, and putting these into practice creates more joy, more love, and more fulfillment. So what happened to that turtle that we saw? Well, she worked hard, shifting the sand with her flappers, carefully burying her eggs in the sand. She worked tirelessly. She never faltered. 45 minutes went by, but she knew her mission was to bury those little angels. She was a little late to the party, I'll be honest. The sun was coming up. Afterward, she took a deep breath and tried to exit the large 5x5 hole. She had dug to bury her eggs. She tried and tried. At first, it looked like she wouldn't get out. I almost wanted to go help her. But this turtle knew she must get back to the ocean to finish her mission. As she crested the top of the hole, she sighed. Then she began flapping down the sand dune, every few feet, stopping to rest. She would breathe and sit for a brief moment before taking on the rest of her journey. Well, she made it to the ocean and swam away into the teal blue water. How does this relate to us? How do we take time to rest between periods of great action? How do we use self-compassion and keep our energy to the end of the journey? Remember, this life is a marathon, not a sprint. We have the power within us to maintain our energy and forge new roads at any time. It doesn't matter who we are, how tired we may seem, whether we've had it good or bad. We have it within us, the Christ within, to make a difference. Maybe it's just as simple as visiting a sick person in the hospital, sick friend, and sitting with them in quiet. Or perhaps it's asking someone you know is going through a tough time to go out to lunch and feel connected. Maybe, just maybe, we can offer some bright energy to our neighbors. Whatever the case, it is our responsibility to bring the best energy we can to each situation, each day. You know, if our tank's on empty, we can't really do that, can we? If we're not filling up our spiritual bank account, the thing inside, we have nothing to give. We can't be available. Let's talk about the word available for a minute. You know, this year, as some of you may remember, I facilitated the White Stone ceremony in January. And in doing so, the word that came up for me was the word available. It means continually filling my spiritual cup such that I can be the energy, enthusiasm, and joy to share with others, with each of you. Do I get down? Sure do. But I don't stay down. Why? Because I have a lot of tools in my spiritual toolbox. So consider the ideas today, tools to lean into when things are tough. They can be a huge help in those times of struggle. God, the universe, all that is, does not promise smooth sailing. But it is how we respond when the waves get rough. If we are spiritually depleted, we may react instead of respond. Anybody ever reacted? And then you went, oh, yeah, me too. So I invite you this week, try on one new spiritual tool daily. Wake up your day with a shift in your energy. If you fall off and you forget one day, have some self-compassion. Just start the next day. It's okay. And try these on as you watch the energy well up inside you and fill your cup. Thank you.